All right, good people. How y'all doing, man, in the world of Apex Couture? I got the big homie with me. It is a privilege. It is an honor, you dig, to have a big homie taking the time out to chop up some game with me. So for those who don't know, and most people know who you are, they know. But for those who don't know, give them the rundown about who you are and what it is that you do.
Certainly. I'm Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm a certified school psychologist, which basically means I evaluate children for special education placement. I evaluate for such classifications as learning disabilities, reading, writing, listening, speaking, emotional disturbance, intellectual disability, formerly called mental retardation, autism. I assist in the evaluation of blind kids, deaf kids, speech and language disordered children, disruptive behavior disorders as they relate to a child's inability or ability to learn. I do behavior modification, behavior plans. You name it, I do it as a certified school psychologist. My doctorate is in clinical psychology. So on that side of the spectrum, I deal with clinical disorders, depressions, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, all that type of stuff. Former school principal, former school administrator, actually in a process of opening my own school, the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Yes.
But still hunting and looking for school buildings, for that particular project. But that's the gist. Author of the Psychoacademic Holocaust, the Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. I'm working on my second book right now. I'm in the middle of that. And that one is going to be called Black Parent Advocate, The Art of War for America's public and charter schools. So Psychoacademic Holocaust teaches parents the game. It teaches them how schools do what they do and how you can fight back. But Black Parent Advocate is going to get more specific with the tactics and techniques that you can use to fight back against the school system. And I'm also founder of the National Independent Black Parent Association.
You the man. You got it. You doing it. So I want to talk a bit about your book and the school to prison pipeline joint, man, because right now, man, in the climate that we're in, there's always been whitewashing, but like it's at the level, it's like right now, I even seen them make I don't know if that was you that was saying that in the video. They was making Mansa Musa white. Yes. So talk a little bit about that in the school system in these textbooks and what they got going on, man. Let them know what's.
Well, when you look at the educational system, we need to be clear that the system is designed to produce robots and servants. So we need to be very clear on that. I don't care what type of school the child goes to, public, private, parochial, independent, charter. The system is designed to produce robots and servants. And so when you pay for your child to go to a private school, you're basically paying for them to be taught how to be a servant. And when you look at the miseducation machine, and you dart just for 1 second, my brother, just for 1 second. But when you look at the miseducation machine as it relates to Black children, the goal of public education as it relates to Black children is to prepare our boys for prison and our daughters for poverty. That's the purpose.
And that's what you talk about in the book, right?
Yes, sir. That's what I talk about in the book. And it's important for your listeners to know that, because our parents keep on looking for something from the school system that the school system was never designed to provide. They're always looking for this elite learner, this deep thinker, this business owner, this doctor, this lawyer. Public school wasn't designed for that, not even for white children. The purpose of public school originally, the original intent of public school was to prepare children so that they could engage in basic reading, writing, and math exercises so they could go and work for the factories, the corporations. Education was intended to serve capitalism. Education was intended to serve capitalism. So here's the question. If education was intended to serve capitalism and there's no more jobs under capitalism, what is the new purpose of education? And for black children, again, it's to prepare the boys for prison and the girls for poverty.
Wow, wow. And we see that so clearly. And the reason why I definitely wanted to touch on that is because, you know, even with like my children, my kids, they go to a school they got a black principal, they got black teachers. Because I live in the Pine Hills area in Orlando, everything black around here. But even with that, the curriculum is still, you know, the curriculum there is still, they're not being, when my kids come home and tell me shit that they learn in that school, and I'm like, they teaching y'all that. You see what I'm saying? Even with the kids being with the so that whole system is pretty much that, right?
Yes. It's really, honestly, when you say education, like the school district of education or whatever the case may be, it's really a misnomer. It should probably be called, you know, academic programming or social programming. I think programming versus education is a much better word, because when you educate, you're supposed to be teaching children how to think. But when you program, you teach children what to think. So public school is really a programming. It's a programming system. It's not an education system. You're taught what schools function like churches. Schools function just like churches do. Yeah. In fact, the first schools in America were created by who? The churches. It was the churches that created the schools. And just like in church, if you know, when you go to church, it doesn't matter, you Muslim, Christian, whatever the religion is, you're not taught how to think critically about anything. Exactly. You're taught what to believe.
And not question it.
Exactly. And if you question it, that's the extreme disrespect. To question anything the pastor or the imam says is extreme disrespect. That's exactly how schools function. They tell you that George Washington was great and Abraham Lincoln was great and the white man invented everything. And for you to question that, yes, is the absolute worst sin or form of disrespect. So true education is about what? Questioning everything.
Questioning
everything. True education, yes. You question everything. So anytime you're in an institution where questioning is considered disrespectful, then you're not being educated.
Exactly.
You're being programmed.
And I ain't mean to cut you off, but you know, that's the thing. I got thrown out of school because of that shit. So, you know, when I was growing up, I was very inquisitive, and I was raised around a lot of Muslim brothers, a lot of 5%ers. You know, they had so you know, they was getting in my head, and you know, I was doing the music or whatever. But when I went to school, and certain things like simple shit like the Christopher Columbus dude, I would question that. I would just simply say, hey, how this dude discovered something that already had some people there? And listen, that would get me thrown out of class. Get your ass out, Antoine. Don't get out. Exactly. You know, and the thing is, when you know, I'm 36, so you know, I grew up in the 80s, 90s, whatever. To my parents, right?
Right.
You cutting up.
That's
what
right.
You doing in the folk classroom, and I'm just like, yo, I'm just challenging. I'm just, you know, come on, man, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean? And the parents were my parents. You know, they didn't understand it. What they thought was I was bucking, and that comes from them going through that same school system, right?
That's right.
So you know, I'm glad you touched on that. So I mean, we see what they're doing with these boys, man. Matter of fact, what's the boy in Pittsburgh? Did you hear about that?
The boy, the rapper who got shot?
Yeah, got shot in the back 3 times.
Did that have anything to do with school?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about
it. But you know, I just using that as an example, like the stuff that our children have to be prepared for. But yes. You know, they're not getting it in school, man. I'm telling you, when you're a man and you know, you got your woman and everything, especially somebody like me that's, you know, I would say, conscious about a lot of stuff. It's difficult to try to explain to you, woman, like, yo, we sending our children to the school to their detriment. You see what I'm saying? How do?
Well, see, here's the question, though. Here's the question. Okay, first of all, and I would never say this to our young brothers. I would never say this to our young brothers because I would need them to understand the context so they don't exploit it to continue down a road that ultimately is disadvantageous for them anyway. However, when you look at the dropout rate for Black boys, which I don't really call a dropout rate, I call it a push-out rate. And the reason I call it a push-out rate is because Black boys leave the schools because they're told to leave. When you're being suspended over and over again,
that happened to me.
The message is clear. You are not wanted here.
Exactly.
Okay. And so once the boy gets the message, he stops going to school because school is painful. School is unfair. It's unjust. In many respects, school resembles a courtroom. It resembles a jailhouse. It is logical and makes total common sense for Black boys to stop going to school. Again, I would never tell them this.
Exactly.
But from a political analysis, from a political perspective, it is normal for Black boys to drop out of an institution that is racist and that is sexist as well. Public school is racist against Black boys, and public school is sexist against Black boys. We got to be
heard that. I never heard the sexist part.
So they have to deal with double jeopardy because I'm being mistreated because I'm Black, and I'm being mistreated because I'm a male. So in essence, I'm being blackmailed. When boys go to school, they get blackmailed. The teachers are all white and the teachers are all women. The teachers are mostly white and they are mostly women. So I'm catching it because I'm a man, and I'm catching it because I'm a Black man in particular. So it's normal to leave a place where you're not being valued. It's normal to stop attending an institution that doesn't have your best interests. Again, I would never tell them that. But when we see boys on the corner, we look at them like they are maladjusted. We look at them like they're dysfunction. They're not dysfunction or maladjusted. They are making a regular, healthy decision.
Exactly.
Participate in a process that ultimately is detrimental. So then the question becomes this. Here's the $1 million question. The $1 million question is, why are Black people $1 trillion people, the richest group of Africans on the face of the earth, people that spent $9 billion on hair care last year, people that spent $4 billion on liquor last year, people that spent $2 billion on Air Jordans last year, people that spent people that spent $500 million on fast food last year. Why are our children being subject to an institutionalization that we know is not in their best interest when we have the money to give them a different reality? See, America allows you to create your own educational system. America doesn't allow you to create your own criminal justice system. America doesn't allow you to create your own political system. America doesn't allow you to create your own legal code. America doesn't allow you to create your own tax system. But America does allow you to create your own educational system. That is the one thing America will let you do on your own. So the question again, why are Black people, Black children, suffering in racist public schools when Black people have the money to give them their own independent schools? And the answer is real simple. White people don't like Black children, but Black people don't like Black children either.
Man, listen, that's potent. That's real thick. As a matter of fact, when you're speaking on that, I want to touch on this. I want to shift gears a little bit. We're talking about children and caring about our own children. this immigration debacle, man.
It's a distraction.
I
And
mean, maybe.
Black people, because we love everybody but ourselves.
Exactly.
We love everybody but ourselves. No matter what issue comes up. If it doesn't concern black people, we are all for it. We are all for it. If it concerns black folks, we don't want nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
But if it concerns white kids or Arabs, the East Indians, Anglo-Saxons, Latinos, Chinese, we are all for it. Here's my question to black folks who are caught up in the immigration distraction. First of all, when did America bring its largest number of immigrants to this country? In the years immediately following the 13th Amendment, the Emancipation, the end of the Civil War. And do you know why America brought 2 to 4 million immigrants into the country? When you had 2 to 4 million blacks, newly freed, needing work, need jobs, need employment, can't find none. Why would America bring 2 to 4 million immigrants after slavery when you had 2 to 4 million slaves who could have took care of those jobs? Because America, after slavery ended, agreed that it would economically suffocate the black man. Economic suffocation. So whenever there is a new market for new jobs, it is already understood. We don't give jobs to black people, not in mass, not systematically. We will never systematically employ black folks. The only systematic employment we had was slavery. That's it. And that was unpaid. Okay. So they brought in Chinese, they brought in Mexican, they brought in Irish to work jobs because they didn't want to give black people any paychecks. And instead, they would send you to jail.
Yes.
Why do we have a Mexican influx in America now? The Mexican influx is to make sure black people don't get control of any economic sector in this country. Mexicans are in America to replace black people. Let me say that one more time. Mexicans are in America to replace black folks. That's nothing against the Mexicans. Guess what? They're looking out for themselves.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And that's the thing, man. Like, you know, we got this thing where like you said, you know, we don't, when it comes to us, man, it's like we got to buck against it, man.
Here's the thing. You got black folks out here fighting for the immigrants. Now, don't get me wrong. Separating children from their parents, we don't agree with that. It's wrong.
Yeah,
and spirit, we can support that. Because as African people, we're going to look out for the best interests of everybody. That's who we are. However, the political time right now dictates that all of our energy, 100% of it, must be directed at ourselves.
Exactly.
We don't have any time to be fighting anybody else's battle. And the irony is that we love fighting other people's battles, although they have never fought ours.
Never, ever, ever.
Blacks. Arabs have never fought for blacks. Latinos have never fought for blacks. Italians, European Jews, Arabs, East Indians, they have never fought for blacks. So here's the question for black folks fighting for immigrants. Once they get accepted into America, what are they going to do for you? Nothing. They are coming to replace you. They are not coming to fight with you. Listen, everybody in America who's not white, knows that if you want to make it in America, you do not align yourself politically, socially, religiously, economically with black folks. That is the rule. So we're fighting for people. If you're fighting for immigration rights, you're literally fighting for people to come here, take your job, take your home, take your child's scholarship. And guess what? Push you further down the economic ladder. Push you further down the social structure. Put you further behind in the political food chain of the United States. Now, if Africans were fighting for African immigration, I would support that. But guess what? This immigration talk, this ain't about Africans. Africans have always had trouble getting into America. Africans from the Caribbean have always had trouble getting into America. This ain't about them. Now, if this issue was about African immigration, I would support it. Because Africans are always discriminated against by the United States Customs and Border Patrol. Always. But this ain't about Africans. This is about Arabs who don't like you.
Mexicans who don't like you, Asians who don't like you. So you're literally fighting for people to come here and help the white man oppress you. I do not support immigration reform. I am not involved in it at all because nobody likes black folks. So why am I going to help people come here, and participate in my demise? No, thank you.
And the thing is, you notice that we ain't even at the table. We ain't even at the table.
And we don't mind being at the table. We don't mind. Remember, black people don't want power. What separates us from all other people in the United States? The one thing that separates blacks, American Africans from everybody else in America, everybody else, everyone else wants cultural power bases. The Chinese are building a cultural power base. Arabs, cultural power base. European Jews, cultural power base. Mexicans, cultural power. People use culture to galvanize political and economic power. Everybody except us. Black people don't want power. Guess what we want?
You there?
Which is our psychological weaknesses, our psychological homelessness, our low racial self-esteem is what's keeping us distracted from what we should be doing. Everyone else wants power. We just want participation.
Yeah, exactly. We want to feel validated. We need them to validate us and make us feel wanted.
We want a rainbow coalition. We want a rainbow coalition.
Yeah, exactly.
Coalition that we're never going to have because there's no black in the rainbow.
There's no black in the rainbow. Man, I'm really loving the game, man, because we really need to have these talks. We really need to have these talks, and we really, we gotta spread this stuff, man. We're so big on rejecting this stuff. So even with the talk about that, I want to talk about this, right? And it's something that I believe in. Like, if it's extreme coming from the white folk, man, I believe it. I don't doubt none of this shit. But a lot of this going on with these girls coming up missing, like a lot of them black girls coming up missing in Chicago. I wanted to talk.
That's sex trafficking.
Yeah. But this is something I wanted to touch on. What do you think about this organ harvesting deal, man? All of our organs.
That's one of the oldest underground markets in world history, organ trafficking. See, here's the thing. Chicago. You look at Chicago or any city with black on black crime, which is basically everywhere because we hate ourselves everywhere. But you can't tell me that you have hundreds of young, healthy black men and women. Hundreds of young, healthy black men and women. Healthy. Being murdered. And you're going to put them in the ground with all their organs. When you have people around the world who need a kidney. He didn't get shot in the kidney. He didn't get shot in the lung. He didn't get shot in the spleen. You understand? All these different parts of the body, that pancreas, he didn't get shot in the pancreas. All these organs that can be transplanted. You're not going to tell me that they're not stealing them and selling them, because you got to keep in mind the only thing that you need to live that you cannot buy in a store is an organ. The only thing you need to live that you cannot buy, you can buy everything else you need to live, food, clothes, you cannot buy an organ. So if somebody needs an organ, you got to get one from someone who got one.
Who got one, yeah.
With all these health, and you got to keep in mind, we're the original people of the planet. We're the original man and woman. So our organs else's body, because now, of course, you still got to have the right matches, but in terms of a positive acculturation of that organ post-transplant, you want it black, and everybody knows this. I've even read articles where they said the black heart is the preferred heart, the black kidney is a preferred kidney, because we're the original man and woman. So we have certain DNA, certain energy in our organs nobody else has.
Exactly. So and that's what I'm. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, with that being said, I believe, and I ain't been wrong about a prediction yet. I don't think I'll be wrong about this one, although we will have to wait a while to find out whether or not it's true, because I don't think the truth about this is coming out anytime soon. And that is to say this: I believe absolutely, positively, and unequivocally that the black on black homicide rates in America's leading cities, of which Chicago is number one, I believe we're going to find out that these are orchestrated assassinations carried out by hired private militia companies on behalf of the states, the cities, and the government itself to repopulate cities where black people are not wanted, and to also find markets for organs that can be sold on the international underground. I absolutely believe that. The Purge movie is, and that's exactly what they're doing to Black America. In the Purge 3 movie that comes out next month, it's supposed to have a mostly black cast. I want to see this third one because I'm hearing that this third Purge 3 or 4, whatever it is, it's supposed to talk about that. It's supposed to deal with the fact that these black on black killings are really government assassinations being carried out by private militias. So I'm looking forward to that movie. But whether the movie has that or not, I want your audience to know that I absolutely believe that this is a purging going on and it's being orchestrated by the government, not black folks.
You know what? I totally agree. I'm glad that you broke it down like that, because when I speak on that, man, people look at me crazy, and I'm like, listen, I see what these folks is doing. I already know what it is. So I want to switch gears a little bit, and this is something I want to touch on, man, for people to understand the nature of this crackle. I'm gonna call him what the fuck he is. The nature of this crackle. We're protesting. We begging these folks to do this or to be humane. Listen, they're not gonna change. This is who they are. This is who they are. How do we get us to understand this?
Because the reason we have trouble understanding this, and let's keep in mind, we'll be celebrating 400 years. Excuse me, not celebrating. We'll be memorializing 400 years of the black experience in America as oppressed people. 1619 is when they first brought us as enslaved Africans. Well, guess what? Next summer is 2019. So we are at 400 years. And black folks are still looking for white folks to change. It's no different than a woman dating a man or a brother dating a sister who clearly don't give a damn about them, but they're so in love with love that you can't see that the person you with is not in your best interest. Black people suffer from battered spouse syndrome. America has beat us down so bad that we now think we need white folks in order to survive as black folks. And I'm telling you this, one of our worst psychological illnesses. Like, there's nothing white people can do to us. Believe you me, there is nothing white people can do to us that would make us say, I am tired of this and I'm leaving.
Man, listen, that is so
nothing. True. They can't kill enough. They can't create enough diseases. The police can't kill enough. They can't mass incarcerate enough. They can't exterminate enough. They can't organ traffic enough. They can't miseducate enough. Listen to me. Black folks have an eternal love for white folks. I don't care what you do. We will never get to a point where we are fed up with the racism. We will never get to that point. That is how psychologically devastated we are.
Yes, we are, because we're like I was just speaking about the Antoine Rose situation in Pittsburgh, and police officer in this situation had just got sworn in 90 minutes earlier. So he 90 minutes ago just got sworn in, got out there in Pittsburgh, shoot a black kid in the back 3 times. And the first thing we do is jump up and start protesting, and you know, we hitting the streets. And the thing is, I understand the outrage, but my thing is, who the hell you talking to? You see what I'm saying? Like, what you think they showing you that's the problem I have, and why I brought up the issue with us not getting it. It's like they showing you. You can't see this shit. It's right in front of your face. They doing it every day. And another thing is, you know, I hear brothers talking about it all the time, man, you know, because I studied a lot of stuff. And to me, you know, we ain't got no rights. It's like, yo, I got rights, man. They can't violate my rights. They doing it every day. You know why they doing it? Because you ain't got none. To me,
first of all, white folks don't control black people with paper law. Let's just be very clear.
Oh, man, good.
Our problem is not paper law. Our problem is not paper law. It is not the laws that determine how white people treat black folks. So this ain't got nothing to do with no paper law. It's about psychological power. That's all this is. This is about psychological power. They have the power and they're using it. And you're dealing with the people whose sole aim for the past 500 years on the planet has been to take as much as they can from other people. You understand? They have no limits to how they mistreat others. They have no limits. They have no compassion. That's who you are dealing with. And black people don't want to admit it. Because if you admit that, the next question becomes, what are you going to do about that?
What are you going to do about it?
If you admit you now have the responsibility to do something about it. So black people like to live in denial, because as long as you live in denial, guess what? You don't have to be responsible. I'll give you a miseducation analogy. Let's take black parents. For a black parent to admit that your child really doesn't have a reading disability, he's just a lazy ass little Negro. That's all. He ain't got no reading problem. He's just a lazy, sloppy, spoiled ass little boy, because that's how you raise him. He ain't got no money. But for a mother or a father to admit that Dr. Umar says my son don't have a learning disability, he's just a sloppy, lazy, spoiled ass little brat who don't want to apply himself in the class, that means I now have to take the responsibility for helping him change his attitude. I don't want to do that. That's going to be hard work to change my son after I done spoiled him rotten. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to act like Dr. Umar don't know what he's talking about. And I'm going to live in denial. I'm going to live in denial about him saying my son don't have a learning disability. Because living in denial, I don't have to do no work. I don't have to take any responsibility. See, that's black people. We live in denial about the permanency of racism, because if you admit that racism is permanent, you got to do something about it.
You got to do something about it, man. And you, man, you hit it spot on, man. Responsibility is something that being responsible, holding ourselves accountable, and checking and change. Like a change is, man, it's like we're so afraid of that. We're so afraid to get out of our comfort zone that it's just really ridiculous, man. Like I don't know. A lot of times, man, I get to the point where I'm like, I don't see how we gonna do this. How we gonna get our way?
Not going to do it with the current mindset you got. The issue isn't whether we can solve this. We can solve this in one day, bro. Solve this in one day. The problem is that the consciousness that you have of black folks, the collective consciousness and the individual consciousness, is not sufficient to achieve the desired end, which is liberation. In other words, you're going to have to create a new collective consciousness, which can only happen without children. Because I'm going to be honest with you, anybody that's 40 years old and up, if they ain't ready, they ain't going to never be ready. So
exactly.
Our focus is on those who are under the age of 25. The problem with those who are under the age of 25, the propaganda campaign against them is so strong that they are almost useless to the struggle already. They're already destroyed, many of them. They caught up in
You froze up. You froze up.
Homosexuality, they call it acceptance and liberation. So our young people have damn near been destroyed before they even had a chance to learn about who they are. So we are in trouble. And it all starts with what? Education. As long as we put our kids in their schools,
As long as most black kids are taught by white teachers, you never fix this. You will never fix this. And then guess what a good black parent does? A good black parent will take a black child being taught by white teachers, and they will pay out of pocket. They will pay out of pocket for the black child to go to better white teachers.
They sure will, man. And listen, you know, you know, I ain't trying to be politically correct, you know, with that homosexuality thing, man. I want to touch on this real quick. You know, with Obama, right? With Obama, he did a lot of shit for the LGBT. He, you know,
minority group that they were the only minority group that he cared about. Them and immigrants.
So
an immigrant, Obama didn't care about you as a minority group.
Yeah, so he opened this Pandora's box with that shit, and I knew at the time when he was doing it that it was dangerous because now you I don't know if you heard about the white guy that's running for Congress. His name is Nathan Larson in Virginia, and he's a pedophile, open pedophile. So, you know, he wants to implement laws to make incest and pedophilia legal. And if I don't want to sound crazy, but I think that comes from Obama opening that door because now he's like, yo, I ain't got no choice. This is how I was born. You know what I'm saying?
Obama was put in office to push the gay agenda in the black community. That's why he was put in there. Think about it.
Yeah.
A white president tried to homosexualize black folks, it wouldn't have worked. We would have rejected it. Could you imagine if George Bush tried to do what Barack Obama did with the homosexual agenda against black folks? We would have rioted, we would have protested, we would have said, we don't believe in that stuff. But because it was Barack Obama, it received no pushback from black folks.
Pushback.
And so guess what? I'm going to give the white man credit. The Obama presidency was a stroke of genius. It was a stroke of genius. White folks outthought us again. They said we're going to put in a light-skinned black man with a white mother, straight curly hair, because black people love looking white. We're going to give them an image of Jesus they can live with. And behind that Obama Jesus, we're going to take everything from these coons. But by the time he's out of office, it'll look like they damn near back in the civil rights era. And that's exactly what they did. They rolled back the Civil Rights Bill. They rolled back the Voting Rights Act. The police started killing black kids like it was going out of style. Yes. Obama said nothing about it. He did nothing about it. Under that black president, more was taken away from black folks than was taken away from black folks during the presidency of any other man for the past 40 years.
So they dropped Trump off in there to finish the job.
To finish the job. But see, black people mad at Trump, but you not mad at Obama. What made Obama better than Trump? I'm still asking. Nobody gave me an answer yet. As it relates to black folks, what made Obama any better than Trump? The only difference is Trump tells you, I don't give a damn about you. Exactly. And Obama just doesn't address the question at all. So one is a crime of commission, Donald Trump, and the other is a crime of omission, Barack Obama.
Yes.
There's never been a president that benefited black folks. There has never been a president that has benefited black folks. And guess what? The Obama weapon worked so well. The Obama weapon worked so well. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave you another black president. Finish the job. Put another coon in there and finish the job. Finish it. You got us half beat. Go ahead and finish it.
I mean, I don't even know about half, bro. Like that we went to sleep. I mean, good nap. Took Tylenol PM under Obama, man. Like we out, you know, and you seen the whitelash that came from it, man. Like the white folk went crazy, man. And right now,
it was only the poor white folks who had an issue with Obama, because educated whites and rich whites knew he was nothing but their puppet.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor whites who don't understand political science or an Obama presidency represented the taking over of America by blacks. That's only because they're dumb, deaf, and blind. They're dumb, deaf, and blind. But guess what? Most white voters are poor. Most white voters are poor. Yeah. And Donald Trump knows that.
Yes.
That's why Donald Trump catered to
the poor and working class white man during his campaign. Donald Trump said, wait a minute, why are Republicans always catering their message to middle class and upper class whites? Most whites are broke whites. So the reason we keep losing to these Democrats is because we're catering to our own demographic instead of the demographic.
Yeah.
America is mostly poor and working class white folks. And the Republicans don't pay attention to poor and working class white folks. So Donald Trump said, I'm going to cater my message to poor and working class white folks. And look what he did.
Look what he did.
He made history. He made history because for the first time, you had a filthy rich white man. For the first time in American history, you had a filthy rich white man who was popular amongst poor white people. He changed the game. And guess how he did it? He did it by being openly racist. He did it
openly
by sharing in the attitude of the poor and middle class white worker. Yes. And now that other white politicians see that, they're going to start following suit.
Yes.
More open racism from America's politicians because they see how well it worked for Donald Trump. Now listen, Donald Trump ain't going to do nothing for poor and working class whites.
Not a damn thing.
But guess what? He also understood. He understood. You don't have to serve them. You just have to identify with them publicly. As long as I say a couple things about black folks and rally up that racist spirit, they will vote for me because I'm the first openly racist president in a very long time. George Bush was racist, but he wasn't openly racist. Yeah. Donald Trump is openly racist, and that's where he's getting his support from.
Yes, exactly. And it don't matter how poor. It don't matter how poor that white dude or that white woman is. Them motherfuckers will not trade places with neither one of us.
Oh no.
They're really playing on that, and it worked out. So I want to ask you this though. With the way that things are going, and especially with this, I want to ask you this. Let me ask you this. This Russia collusion investigation, is that not a distraction?
That's a distraction.
Because it's
the job of the media is to keep you looking everywhere but where you should be looking at. Nothing that really matters comes on the news. Nothing that really matters ever comes.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Say that for him again, big bro.
Nothing that really matters ever comes on the news. And if it really matters to black folks, it won't even be in the damn newspaper.
It ain't gonna make it. And let
me say this. I am very upset and disheartened with black media. Because, and of course, I'm a Pan-Africanist. It was a Pan-Africanist that started the black media in America. John Brown Western, who published Freedom's Journal back in the 1800s. Black media was created to be a voice for the black community. Our concerns, our issues, and to research the things that matter most to us. The black media's job is to expose the racism. Expose the racism. Black media don't expose the racism no more. Black media is all about reality TV.
Yes.
It's all about sports and athletics. It is all about commercialism, hair care products, partying, and celebrity gossip.
Celebrity gossip, man.
Media has lost its role, and black people are suffering because of it, because we no longer get the type of qualitative information that black media used to bring us back in the day so that we could be equipped with the information and how to fight back.
Exactly.
If you look at black media today, it's 5 things on black media. We hate Donald Trump. Who hit the lottery? Who got robbed at the gas station? Who's going to be performing at Summer Jam?
Yeah.
And what team LeBron James going to in the offseason? That's all black media worried about. A total waste of our time, bro.
Waste of time. And then I noticed the influx of this toxic masculinity shit that's totally directed at us. You know, like the little Me Too shit that a black chick started. Black chick started. A white folks that hijacked the shit And now, you know, man, if you're a man and they say a man, but I mean, you could look at all the situations, man, like with the Harvey Weinsteins and all. I ain't worried about them white folks. They ain't really doing shit to me. But I noticed, man, that they are at us like they weaponize everything to target us. So now, you know, you got this Me Too movement, and they targeting certain men, and you know, stuff like that. But my thing is this: it's like they want to make us so weak and feminized. They want to make, especially black men, and these kids, man, they so, you know, they're thrown off with it, man. Like, you know, what do you think about the Me Too movement?
Well, here's the thing. The number one antagonist in American history has always been the unapologetically African alpha male. America has always hated the unapologetically African alpha male. Whether it was Nat Turner, whether it was Frederick Douglass, whether it was Medgar Evers, whether it was Huey P. Newton, whether it was Dr. King, Malcolm X, the unapologetic African alpha male has always been public enemy number one. Always been public enemy number one. Part of that stems from the white man's jealousy and hatred that the black man possesses the dominant recreative gene in the world. We are the most potent genetic people that exist. Whatever we reproduce reproduces us. We're the only men that any woman we touch creates us. White man doesn't recreate himself in any woman except his own woman. So that alpha male, the way he sees it, is an extermination waiting to happen. That's how he sees us. Because women are attracted to alpha men. And if black alpha men have sex appeal, all the women are going to want them. Black, white, Chinese, it don't matter. So that black alpha male, socially, politically, militaristically, economically, he is a threat to white supremacy. The black alpha male is an absolute threat because he's not afraid of the white man. He's desired by the white man's woman. He has the dominant reproductive DNA on the planet. Physically strong enough to defeat the white male. He is a problem. They hate him more than Al-Qaeda. They hate him more than any Arab terrorist cell you can find. And because of that, there has always been an agenda to exterminate the alpha male energy out of black America. They've done it with homosexuality. They've done it with this new gender neutral movement, this LGBTQ, and now they're doing it with the Me Too. So what the Me Too is designed to do is to demonize traditional black male sexuality and attractiveness.
Exactly. Okay.
You want to make black men feel so afraid to be black men. And that's what they're doing by targeting every major black male. Morgan Freeman, Bill Cosby, Jamie Foxx, Chris Brown, and Tavis Smiley, and they're rolling them out every week because they want to intimidate black men about initiating heterosexual contact with women of any race, including black women. You see, so they want to slow down masculinity, and heterosexuality, and they want to promote homosexuality and same-sex relations. All of this is part of the genocide of black America. All of it is.
And they're working. But do you? What do you see though as far as in the future, near future, man? Like, can we come out of this shit?
If you change the consciousness of the next generation. Remember, the essential resource of a revolution is human resource. The essential resource of a revolution ain't money, it ain't guns, it's not trucks or home. No, the essential resource of a revolution is the mind. You don't have enough black folks who want to be free. You got to understand something. Most black folks are in love with this American shit. They love this. They ain't got no problem with a couple cops killing a couple black kids. That's just the price we got to pay to be here.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Trayvon Martin was collateral damage.
Right down the street from us.
Brown, Freddie Gray, collateral damage. Rest in peace to all those brothers and sisters the way to coon. So you got Negroes and you got coons, and then you got black folks. The Negroes don't know no better. They just don't know. The coons know better, but they have a personal agenda that requires them to act like they don't know. So the coon is an actor, because the coon knows that that shit ain't cool. But I got to do it because this is where my interests lie. Who was the guy? Ray Lewis?
Yeah.
In NFL pro. Ray Lewis knew that that was wrong, but he's a coon, which means he has interests that are aligned with the power structure, so he has to defend the power structure. That's why black people got to make sure our interests are not the same as white folk, because if your interests are the same as the power structure, guess what? You will defend the power structure against your own people to salvage your own agenda.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. And that's why I've always any black man that is celebrated by the power structure, celebrated by the white folk. Any black man like that, I already know he's compromised. He's compromised.
You could go a little bit further. You could even argue that any black man who's regularly brought on network television is of no threat to the white man whatsoever.
And yeah, so you got your Don Lemons, your Van Jones, them kind of, you know what I mean? Because I watch them, I stay on them, and they're not.
I believe Don Lemon is in a relationship with a white man, and I believe Van Jones has a white wife.
Man, excuse me, it killed because it adds up. It sounds about right. As a matter of fact, there's certain things that a black man could say, or a black woman could say, that lets me know that I was online. I think I was on blackenough.com. Shout out to Dr. Boyce Watkins. And I was speaking on some of the things that we're speaking about. And this lady, she comes on the comment and she's like, well, all white people aren't like that. You know, the first thing that I thought of when I read her comment, and I can't quote it verbatim, this was a couple of weeks ago, was I said, are you in a relationship with a white man? Yes, and I love him very much. I was like, I can tell because you automatically went in defense. Yeah. You didn't come at the situation and try to analyze it and look at it for the logic in it. Your first thought was I got to defend the honor of my man and his people. You see what I'm saying? So you can pretty much see them. And I know that if they on TV and they celebrate it like that, I know that they compromise, man. I know, but I watch them though. That's one of the things I do. I watch them because I'm studying. We want to be aware of these things because they're leading the charge right now. They talking about this immigration thing. You got Angela Rye. Angela Rye, she makes a lot of good points, but I mean, she caping for these immigrant children, like they going so hard, and I'm like, wow, man, wow.
Meantime, look at the record numbers of black children that are removed from their parents on a basis from Child and Family Services on phony, fraudulent, and false allegations all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at the foster and adoptive system for black children and the way in which Child and Family Services has been weaponized against poor black mothers, basically used to bully them into doing whatever the power structure wants them to do, or they risk losing their children. What's going on with those immigrant children, whether you look at it qualitatively or quantitatively? You can look at it qualitatively in terms of what they're doing, quantitatively, how many they're doing it to. It does not begin to compare to what's being done to black children right now in the United States by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. It doesn't even compare. The amount of kids who get taken away because their parents don't want to put them on drugs, get taken away because the parents can't afford decent shelter, get taken away just because white folks accuse the parent of having been too abusive against the child. All the kids who get taken away because they said that their parent put their hand on them. And then you put them in these group homes and foster places where they get raped and molested and abused by the foster care providers.
There's a lot of, I didn't mean to cut you off, but there's a lot of adoptions. You know, these white folk adopting black kids and they killing them, they raping them, they doing, you know what I mean? They're doing God knows what to them. I mean, I know what they be doing, you know what I mean? But people just think like, oh no, they just love the kids. Like, why is it that, that's another question. Why is it that they want to adopt black kids like that? And you know, they just take them in and then something tragic happens to them.
First of all, the trend for white folks is not to adopt black kids from America. The trend is to adopt black children from Africa. Okay? And the reason you might ask yourself, if you want a black child that bad, why you just ain't get one from your own state? They're all around.
Yeah.
There's more black kids up for adoption as a percentage than any other child, because black people don't adopt black kids. We don't care about black kids. Okay? So they end up being adopted by homosexuals and lesbians. But if you want a black child, there's enough of them in America. Why you got to go halfway around the world to get you a black child? Because you want a black child who's socially ignorant, politically ignorant, economically ignorant. You want a black child that you could totally dominate and control, who's going to feel like being in America is such a blessing that they will let you rape them, molest them. They will let you deprive them of an education. They will let you deprive them of freedom. If you bring a child from a poor African community to America and you don't let them go to school, they're not going to care, because after all, this is a rich house.
Yeah.
If you sexually abuse them, it's wrong, but are they going to tell and risk being sent back to Africa? No. So they want them dumb, deaf, and blind. Wow. They want them politically and socially dumb, deaf, and blind to see. If you get a regular black child from America, you molest them, they might run to the police. You get a regular black child from America and you don't feed them, they might call. They might tell the school, call child. They know they're supposed to go to school. They know who the cops is. But a black child coming from certain places in Africa wouldn't know that.
So with the psychological, the psychology behind that, I want the listeners to understand something. Why do they do? Why must they dominate? Or why do they have to do that? Like, what do they get out of that?
Okay. In order to understand the white man's behavior, you have to understand his biopsychoclimatology. His biopsychoclimatology. In other words, the way in which his biology and his psychology interacted with him in the European Ice Age. White folks come out of a hostile climatology. Cold, nothing, no vegetation, no animals, no clean drinking water. He evolved in a hostile environment, which hardened him. So he don't have compassion for people because he grew in a context and in a climate where being compassionate may have cost him his dinner, may have cost him his life. See, in the Ice Age, it wasn't enough to go around, so they had to steal and manipulate. You understand? So he grew aggressive. He grew angry. He became a manipulator, a controller. The reason he has to control everything is the only way for him to feel secure. Remember, he's a numerical minority. Yes. He's a numerical minority. In order to feel safe, you have to he has OCD. The white man has obsessive compulsive disorder. He also has paranoid personality disorder.
Yes, he does.
He also has narcissistic personality disorder. Like you said earlier, Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. But because nothing existed until the white man found it, that's the narcissism. That's the narcissism. I'm going to wipe out the entire history of America. And I'm going to start it in 1492. How can you do that? Because nobody matters but me and people who look like me. That's it. That's it. This is who he is. It is his biopsychoclimatology. It is the need to control everything in order to feel secure. And it grew out of his experience with nature during the Ice Age, where he had to cut, where he had to manipulate, he had to fight, he had to defend constantly, he had to lie, steal, cheat. That's what was needed in order for him to survive the Ice Age. And so they now simply employ those skills that allowed them to survive the Ice Age, and they use those same set of skills to dominate the entire planet.
Wow. You know what? And I'm gonna end it on that note. I don't want to hold you too much longer, man. That was powerful right there, and I hope y'all got that. I need y'all to get that so y'all can understand. Start grappling with these folk. Ain't finna change. Don't look for it. It's not gonna fucking happen. All right. Ain't nobody coming.
You gotta also understand this. Let me say this. Let me, not to cut you off, I want to make sure people understand. Behavioral psychology. Let's take a behavioral psychology. In behavioral psychology, there's two principles, two main principles. All behavior is a function of where it happens and the consequences that follow. All behavior is a function of where it happens and the consequences that follow. Black people are also responsible for the white man becoming worse over time. I want to say that again.
Say it again.
We are responsible for the white man becoming worse over time. And the reason we're responsible for the white man becoming worse over time is because we have not provided him with consequences that would serve to deter his behavior. Let me say that one more time. We have not provided our oppressor with the consequences that are necessary to deter his behavior over time. We have not done that. And so he will continue to get worse until we provide him with consequences to deter his behavior.
Yes, and that's going to be a lot of destruction, man. It's going to be major, man. So listen, big homie, I ain't want to hold you up, man, but I'm glad we was able to do this. And I want you to let the people know about your book, your new book about to come out. Anything you want the people to know, get to it right now.
Let me let them know this. Upcoming speaking engagements. I'll be speaking at the University of the Bahamas at Freeport on June 30th. I'll be speaking in Atlanta, Georgia, Saturday, July 7th. I'll be speaking in Montgomery, Alabama for the first time, Sunday, July the 8th. I'll be speaking in Suffolk, Virginia, Sunday, July the 15th. I'll be speaking in Elizabeth City, North Carolina for the first time, Friday, August the 31st, and I will be in Raleigh, North Carolina on Sunday, September the 2nd, Dallas, Texas, Sunday, September the 16th, Shreveport, Louisiana, Friday, September the 14th. If anyone needs to reach me, phone number 215-98 consultations for their children if they're going through issues in the school system, special ed, mental health, IEP, learning disability, behavior modification, whatever the issue may be. They can schedule parent consultations with me as well. And again, they can reach me at Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com or 215-989-9858.
Man, I appreciate that. And I want y'all people to know that this is the cover story. So he will be on the cover, the front cover of the magazine. We had to honor the man like that, man, with this type of information. You know what I mean? We got to put it on a large scale. So y'all make sure y'all stay logged on to www.apexcouturemag.com. We still got the mango issues coming for y'all to get. We still got the duffel bag Duffy brochures, and we got Tanae Jackson on the cover before my man Umar right here. And be looking out for his to be released soon. And this is the interview that's exclusive. I really appreciate the information and everything that you brought to the table today, brother. And looking forward to things in the future. Also, we're working on Jacksonville and Orlando. Y'all got them these venues. We need my man to come down here and chop up some of this game. So, you know, y'all get at me. We're working on that right now. So I salute to your brother.
Love, black man.
I can't wait to come back up there to Philly and get back with you. You know what I mean? And go move around the city, man. I was moving. I ain't get to do as much as I wanted to do because of the situation.
Yes, sir.
And, we will definitely get together.
Will do, my brother.